Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Divide and Conquer as we are continue with the faction overviews. With today, after long waiting, finally we have the Dunedain of Arnor. So, let's just jump straight in and take a look at them. Starting with their starting position, we start with three regions: Ostul, Khazad-Dûm, and Mithlond, which is a change in comparison with version 4.6, where you only started with two regions, Ostul and Khazad-Dûm. You now start straight away with Mithlond, which should give you a small financial boost, which should come in handy. So you have an average start compared to most factions who start with 3 or 2 regions. So average start and 3 regions for you. Then, dealing with the starting army, you start with a couple of forces, not that much. We have 2 units of Khazad-Dûm, another 2 units here in Mithlond, 2 units in Ostul, and up here we have another 4 units and a general in a fort nearby Deadman's Dyke. Also here we see some changes compared to last version, where you started with Halberad, I think somewhere here in the forest. He wasn't in the fort, I think. He was just roaming around in the forest. And Hervigil, who is now on the borders of this region, the Weather Hills, who used to be in the fort over here between Deadman's Dyke and Numenas, now moved more towards your own territory, with a focus on a more consolidating focus to really protect your realm. So altogether, not a really big force, but if you put things together, you should be able to gain some lands. So that should be nice. Then, custom bodyguards. And you have a couple starting custom bodyguards. Halberad, for example, who starts with Dunedain Steel Bowman. Dunedain Steel Bowman, yes. We have Aragorn over here, who starts with the Great Company. But besides that, that's it. Hervigil used to be custom. He used to have Dunedain Rangers, but he has been sent back to the standard bodyguard, just like Arafor, who used to have Cardolan Sentinels. But I think that unit has been completely removed from the game, so also he is now a standard bodyguard. There are a couple of more custom bodyguards. Gandalf will be custom, and he starts with Dunedain Cavalry, I think they are called. I just need to look up. The Dunedain Cavalry. He starts as with the Dunedain Cavalry as Gandalf the White, but if he dies, he changes in Ar-Adunaim Knights, which is not listed yet, because you cannot train them right away. I think besides that, there are no other custom bodyguards for the Dunedain. We will come into scripts and gameplay events. I will talk a little bit more about custom bodyguards, because there is quite a script for the Dunedain. Right, then dealing with the family tree or Teutonic. Well, you definitely have a family tree. It looked like this. You have Aragorn, who has only one son, Adrian, and you have Halberad, who is married to your niece, I think it is. They're all, of course, fictional, because I don't think your father had a sister. So it's a mainly fictional family tree. There are some through things though. I think this line is true, but this line is just made up. So, you have a family tree, which is always nice. It's very hard to die then as a faction. Then dealing with geographical area and defensibility of it. We are in the middle of Ar-Adunaim, and well, defensively wise, we are, well, just not that great of a position. We do have the river over here, which I think is the Brunnen, because it's close to Brunost, so I think this is the Brunnen, and this is the extension of the Guadlo, I suggest, I think. Not really sure. But we have a small defensibility from the river. It's not big, it's barely anything, but it's something. Up from the north, we are completely in the open. Angmar is free to roam around and knock on the door, and they will. And also here from the south, we have Tarbet, with where Dunland resides, and they will come for you as well. So prepare for a pretty hard time. But besides that, have a nice time. Do have a nice time, because the Dunedain is a really fun faction. Alright, then continuing to expansion, and as you see, we have loads of rebel regions around us, and we are in turn 2, which means that the auto expansion have took place, so there are loads of possibilities to expand to. I personally would advise you to take Kaloniak, which is all. Oh, it's a bottom melee. I thought it was already cast, but it's way better defensible than Tidween, with just a crappy village. You need a decent garrison to hold it at all. So I would take Kaloniak, move to Argond, who is a castle, I think. Yes, this is a castle. Pretty defendable. I don't think you will get either of these, but Argond should be reachable. And try to take out Dunland in Tarbet early doors, because then you have this nice, then you have the Guadlo as a nice defensive river. Argond in the south protected, pretty defensible. Tarbet here at the crossing, pretty defensible. Kaloniak, pretty defensible, and especially when you are able to upgrade it. Vindsvept will be your weak point for some time, not too long. I think you will be able to upgrade it quite quickly, especially if you lower the taxes and really focus on some growth. I would say chicken farming, for example, herbalist. Those two buildings will really help to boost the growth and help you to upgrade Vindsvept, and that is your real weak spot. Ossul is a village as well, but as long as it isn't upgraded, you will use the map of the Weathertop, the Watchtower map, which is really defensible. It's a steep hill. You can place a spearman on the front line, archers above it, and just really pound the enemy till death. So I wouldn't worry about Ossul. You can take a short trip to try to take Kamabrin, which is a castle as well, so pretty defensible. It would keep you from harm from the goblins from the north, but do know they're also in the south, so it will be a pretty hard first few turns to really establish your defenses. But enough about expansion. Let's start dealing with custom battle maps, and you have a few. Ossul, of course, as long as you don't upgrade it, you will use the battle map of the Watchtower, which is custom. Deadman Dyke is custom, Numinas is custom. If you have for some reason fight at Bree is custom, Mangalan is custom. I didn't talk anything about Mangalan. I wouldn't go for it right away. It's not. The village itself is not worth much. You have a lot of trouble with roaming, barrel wise. In my opinion, it's not worth it. Gundabad isn't custom, it's just a regular town. Osnitil is custom. We have here the mountains, everything. Pretty much everything within the mountains is custom. So there are a few custom things dotted around. Even Imladris is custom as well. So if you pick your targets, you will have you have quite a variety on battle maps. Then dealing with diplomacy. As you see, we are allied to both Bree and the High Elves, so we have some cover, we have some help in here. But we also start at war with both the goblins and with Angmar. So we are covered from the east and western side, but the enemies come from north and south. So not really covered by our allies. They both have the same enemies, so I think altogether we should be fine. Alright, then dealing with buildings. Let's grab... no, not you. Let's grab the building. And let's take a look at a few things, because the Dunedain do have a few niche things you need to know about. First of all, we don't use the regular barrack system. We do have siege equipment, which is all the way up to the 3rd tier, where we can train trebuchets. We are one of the few nations who can, so it's nice. The trebuchets itself are not that great. They're pretty niche units. They're useless on the battlefield, but awesome in siege battles. While both the ballista and the catapult have a more versatile use. As blacksmith, we are one of the Dunedain. We are one of the best smiths. Well, we're not one of the best smiths in the world, but we are pretty good at smithing. We are the best human faction in smithing, which is shown that we are all the way up to the 5th tier of smithing, the master armorer. We are a seafaring nation, so we have two pretty good ships, the Azul and the Alcorandas. We are all the way up there with, well, we're not as good as Elves or the Ar-Adunaim, but we are definitely above all the others. Food production, we're not restricted. Mines, we're not restricted either. We have alright mines, not too great, not too bad. I skipped the guild for now, we'll talk about that later. Culture is education. We start with the library, then we continue with the school and the university, and they give a public order bonus, which is pretty good, because especially newly conquered settlements, you want to get culture going and public order under control, and this building gives both, so pretty useful building. Then we have the town hall line. It's called the castle line here, but I would say it's just a town hall line. Highest the royal barracks, 6 recommendable, 5 free upkeep, and the Dunedain bodyguards get free upkeep there. Then dealing with the fiefdom barracks. Fiefdom barracks is both for Gondor and the Dunedain. It's for the reuniting kingdom script. You are able to build the fiefdom barracks and get some units from the Lamrod. And then we have our own recruitment, which is the encampment, 3 tiers. So all other barracks and all other barrack systems are useless for us. We have to build our own, which can be annoying, because there will never be a military structure ready for you to use. Then we have a new building, the auxiliary guard post and the auxiliary barracks. This has to do with also with the reunited kingdom script, so I will postpone that for just a little bit. The regional retraining is always available, the way station, which allows you to retrain AOR units. Most of the time it's listed which units are retrainable, but it is actually a really useful building and has some hidden assets in it. As I figured out, I think it is with the Ar-Adunaim campaign. I'm pretty sure it is with the Ar-Adunaim campaign. If you build this building, the game thinks you can train all your AOR units, which is also most of the time also considered one of your best units. So, for example, I built this building in a settlement when I was playing Ar-Adunaim, and the game thought I was able to train Beleriand Honor Guard. So in some missions the game gives you, you will be rewarded with the best unit currently available. If you have this building, it means you can train those the game thinks you can train those units. So that is your best unit. My best unit was Beleriand Honor Guard, and I even didn't own Ar-Adunaim. So it's, well, it's a pretty cheesy way to get some really good units on the go. Then we have some unique buildings, the Downs, which is the Barrow Downs in Mangalan. It starts like this. If you can upgrade the town, you will be able to restore the crypts, allowing you to train Dunedain Steel Bowmen, which is a really good unit. And also get rid of the penalties and gives you a really good, solid bonus. The morale bonus is pretty useless, I think. Morale, anyway, is not a big deal in Divide and Conquer. Also, the Bridge of Tharbad is at your... you can build the Bridge of Tharbad in Tharbad, giving you the Tharbad Royal Guard, which is a pike unit. Also, you will be able to build the House of Kings. It's in my research it said that it was buildable in Deadman's Dyke, but if I remember well from earlier versions, the House of Kings is buildable in Anuminas and not in Deadman's Dyke. But I could be wrong about that, so I will check in a moment, find out if I am able to figure out where it is buildable, and I will come back to you with that. That is about... oh, I've just forgot the guilds. As the Dunedain, you have access to 3 guilds, which is pretty much actually. You start with the Warriors Guild, like almost every faction get access to. First tier, just melee weapon bonus. Second tier, morale bonus. Global, so worldwide effect. Pretty useless in my opinion. I never liked the Warriors Guild that much, but that's my personal opinion. The third tier, however, is really useful. Hall of the Faithful, giving you access to the Ar-Adunaim Knights, which is a really powerful melee unit. You also get access to the Archers Guild. First tier, just speed up replenishment. Second tier gives you Sworn Infantry, which is an Archer Infantry hybrid unit. Pretty good, way more powerful than you might imagine. But not elite tier, don't get me wrong. These are no elite warriors, but they are steady mainstream unit. And the highest tier, the Great Company Guild Hall, giving you access to Dunedain Steel Bowmen. Last but not least, the Horse Breeders Guild. You only have access to 2 tiers of that. You are not the Master Horseman. first tier only speed up replenishment of cavalry, and the second tier also access to sworn horsemen, who are, unlike the infantry variant, not that great in my opinion. Good, powerful charge, but they, in my opinion, the most of the time pretty underperform. But 3 guilds at your disposal, all of them useful. Besides, not much special buildings. We already talked about the House of Kings. That leaves me with scripts and gameplay events, and the Dunedain actually have quite a few. Let's start with the most simple one. That's the Beacon of Hope system. It's like a mercenary pool, but different. As the Dunedain, as long as you haven't formed a reunited kingdom, you have access to the Beacon of Hope system, which allows you to train human units from other factions. So, for example, if we move out Halbarad, I just saw, you see a bunch of human of Bree units and some bandits. The bandits probably just a mercenary pool. The Bree-land units, Beacon of Hope system. If you now, for example, move Halbarad to here, and I hope this works, that I don't make a fool of myself. Here we see still the Bree units. It doesn't work like that. I would say. Yes, here we have it. We have some Dorwinion units. So the Vineyard Levies, the Torn Bladesmen, and the Torn Crossbowmen are Beacon of Hope units, and the others are just mercenary pools. And if we, for example, move, well, let's move to let's move to here. Oh, that's I think you have to cross the border for it to work. Yes, you have some Anduin units. The Valesmen, the Woodman Hunters, and the Bjorning Axemen. And again, the bandits are just regular mercenaries. If we then cross the border again, you see no mercenaries, so it is only human faction. It allows you to train some extra troops when you are in a foreign land. I think it are only the good factions, but it might be also some Ruidar units. We can just take a look at it. Border. Yes, it all only some good faction units. So none here. So that is the Beacon of Hope system. It allows you to train some really good units. I think Rohan has some really good cavalry, the Rohirrim. Maybe some more, mostly more Rohirrim, but I think also some Rohirrim horse archers. Some skirmishers maybe. I don't exactly know which units, but there are always some. I definitely know Dunland provides some units. I think Enid White as well. Rohan, Dorwinion, probably Gondor and Dol Amroth. don't think you will get much further. So there are always a few good units available. Then we have Aragorn's quest, but I'm gonna take that within the Reunited Kingdom. And the Reunited Kingdom works pretty, well, kind of different from the Reunited Kingdom you might know from AGO. In Divide and Conquer, you make a decision, either go with the Reunited Kingdom or you go with Arnor. And let's talk about the Reunited Kingdom first. For the Reunited Kingdom, there are different conditions. First of all, Minister needs to be in hands of a good faction. It can be you, it can be Gondor, but it can also be Dol Amroth, or maybe even Rohan. Unlikely, but possible. It needs to be in the hands of a good faction. You, as the Dunedain, needs to be allied to both Gondor and Dol Amroth. And you have to complete Aragorn's quest all the way up to earning the Oathkeepers. Once you have done that, you have to move Aragorn to Minas Tirith, wait there for 4 turns. It might be 1 or 2 turns more. I have seen in a in a playthrough, so it should be 4, could be 5. So don't panic if it doesn't happen straight away after 4 turns. Might just be a turn off. And that's it. Then you will get a message, kingdoms are reunited, and you will earn well, every reward of the reunited kingdom, or burden, just on how you see things. Right. What happened if the kingdoms are reunited? Basically, Gondor and Dol Amroth are annexed. They stop existing, and all of their armies, all of their towns, all of their generals belong to you. All custom generals will be respawned, which means you will have access to Faramir, Boromir, Fallen the Fat, Adrian, Imrahil. Imrahil is not custom though. But all of them will be respawned. Your badge will change into the Reunited Kingdom badge. The color of your banners will change. And the visual of Aragorn will change in his more kingly look. You also get access to the majority of Gondor's roster, so the majority of Gondor's roster will belong to you, and part of the Dol Amroth roster will belong to you. Not all of the units, because a few units are, well, kind of a copy of Gondor's roster. So Gondor's roster is way more mainstream, way more basically pretty much the same, but way more mainstream. Don't get me wrong, you will get some units of Dol Amroth, mostly AOR units, like the Knights of Athalond, I think the Silver Swan, the Knights of the Silver Swan, those units. Then you also get access to a building we just hovered over, which is the Auxiliary Barracks. The Auxiliary Barracks provides you with locally trained units. After you reunite the kingdom, the Beacon of Hope system disappeared, and you won't have access to it anymore. Instead, you will get access to the Auxiliary Barracks, which allows you to train local units. So it has 2 tiers. I am not sure what tier gives what units or the amount of units. Try to look that up. I would imagine it's just like the Ar-Adunaim auxiliary barracks, where you get in the first tier a few low tier units, and at the second tier some higher tier units, some mid tier units, I would say. That is if you choose the Reunited Kingdom. If you choose Arnor, you will need a different path. To form Arnor, you need to hold both Deadman's and Annuminas. You have to rebuild the House of Kings, which is said to be in Deadman's but if I remember well, I'm pretty sure it's in Annuminas. By now you will have seen it, because I will put it on the screen where it actually is. And you have to upgrade Annuminas. So Annuminas needs to be upgraded, which is odd because I didn't know it was possible. But we will see. Besides that, you need to be allied to Bree. And that's it actually. So that are the requirements for Arnor. If you reform Arnor, you will annex Bree, all of his possessions, all of his armies, all of his units. You'll get access to the roster of Bree, but you will keep the Beacon of Hope system. As you have seen, if you reunite the kingdoms, and that's just a small step back to the reunited kingdom, you won't get access to the local archers and the local militia anymore. Those units have been removed from the game. They have been replaced with the auxiliary barracks, which trains local units of another faction. I already said that all custom bodyguards will be respawned once you either form Arnor or the Reunited Kingdom. And that's also that's pretty important part. If you reunite the kingdom, make sure that Osgiliath is in hands of Gondor. Because if it is, it will automatically upgrade the town. So East Osgiliath needs to be in hands of Gondor, because there are only a certain amount of unique town upgrades a faction can make, and the Dunedain already have Osgiliath, Annuminas, and Deadman's Dyke. So before you reunite the kingdom, take Eastern Osgiliath, gift it to Gondor, then reunite the kingdom, and it will automatically be upgraded. Right, that's about it for the reunited kingdom, for the Northern Dunedain. I have once played it in AGO, which was quite differently, because there you have to reunite Arnor first and then reunite the kingdom. So pretty different, but overall always a very fun faction. But it can be pretty hard. Your troops are quite scarce. Recruitment time, and look at it, it's 25 turns before you can train your next unit. It is a really good unit, don't get me wrong, but 25 turns is a long time. So you won't have many armies, especially not early games. Once you have reunited kingdom, you might. But now, in the beginning, you won't be. But it can be hard, but it's a really fun campaign. Really good armies. You are really few, but really elite. And it really requires you to think about your next step, which I do like a lot. So this is the campaign side of the Dunedain. I will see you in a moment in the battle map side of the Dunedain. Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the battle map side of the northern Dunedain. And in a quick overview, you see we have quite a versatile army, but there are some bits and bobs about that. So let's just dive in and let's find out. At our lowest tier, which is not actually our lowest tier are actually some Bree-landers, but I couldn't fit them in this army, and I think these units are way more unique to the Dunedain than the Bree-land units. So our lowest tier unit are the Dunedain Wardens, with a 7 attack, a 6 charge, a 17 defense. Well, they are actually quite decent. They are actually really good for our lowest tier unit. They have good morale response. They are slightly faster than other units. They are spear units, so they have a bonus against all mounts. And as you see, they can hide everywhere. The Dunedain Wardens. They are accompanied by an archer variant, the Dunedain Rangers, with a 7 melee attack, a 7 missile attack, a 4 charge and a 12 defense. These are actually really deadly warriors. A 7 missile attack from your first tier unit. It's probably one of your best archers already, and they are available straight away. But as you see, they are pretty bad in melee, like most archers. They can hide everywhere, they inspire nearby troops, they have good morale response, slightly faster, 32 missiles, 220 meter range and a very high accuracy, so these are some deadly archers. Also supported with a cavalry unit, a horse archer unit to be precisely. The Dunedain Scouts with a 5 melee attack, a 5 missile attack, a 5 charge and a 7 defense. They are good horse archers. They have average morale response, 5% movement bonus. They have 28 missiles, 120 meter range and a high accuracy. And they are adept in hiding in the woods. So they are not as good hiding units as the footmen, but they are pretty good. They can hide in a majority of places. Then going to our mid-tier units, and we start with the Dunedain units. We have the Dunedain Armsmen with a 9 attack, a 5 charge, a 20 defense. They are a way more offensive unit than the Wardens, but quite some better as well. They have very good morale response, no bonuses in movement anymore, and still adept in hiding in the woods. They are supported by an even more offensive unit, the Dunedain Blazemen, with a 15 attack, a 19 defense, a 7 charge, very good morale response, adept in hiding in the woods, just everything you may expect. And like most of these units, they are restricted to the Dunedain region, which is your homelands. Basically, I think the majority of Ar-Adunaim think Annuminus, Deadman's Dyke, Ostsul, Vindsvept, I would say Theatween, Kaloniak, Mithrite, Argont probably. Those regions, your home regions. I think that's for most Dunedain units. As well for the Wardens and the Rangers. So these guys, yes. So they are all restricted to your homelands. The Dunedain Blade Masters. And we continue with a unit that's available once you have formed Arnor. The Ar-Adunaim Footmen. With a 6 attack, a 5 charge, a 16 defense. They seem a little bit meh. They are slightly worse than the Armsmen, you would say. But these guys are armor piercing, so they are pretty good. They will perform pretty well. They have good morale response, no movement bonus, and they only come from an Ar-Adunaim region, which is roughly, I would say, Annuminus, Deadman's Dyke, Ar-Adunaim in the north, Athelin to the northeast from Deadman's Dyke, about that region. It could be, miss one or two regions. Don't pin me on that, but roughly said are those regions. Then the Tharbad Royal Guard, which is our first pike unit and a first AOR unit with a 6 attack, but it are pikes, so it's about triplet, say 80 to 20. 6 attack, 5 charge, 17 defense. Good, just a decent pike unit. Good morale response. Bonus against mounts, and they only come from Tharbad. Really nice. They have this really nice red coats on them. Good visual. Very good visual. Right, then we go to our left and we find two quite special units. We start with the Sworn Infantry. With a 6 melee attack, a 5 missile attack, a 5 charge and a 15 defense. They are completely different from the Dunedain Rangers. These guys are way more versatile, although overall they worse. But these, you should see these as the units that guards your town when your armies are in the field. They have a good morale response, no movement bonuses, 30 missiles, 190 meter range, which is pretty decent, and high accuracy, so they will hit what they are aiming for. Then we have another unit that can be unlocked by reforming Arnor. I said these guys were removed from the game, but I was wrong. They are locked behind the Arnor script. The Cardalan Sentinels, again, kind of a hybrid unit. With a 9 melee attack, a 5 missile attack, 5 charge, 60 defense. You see, they're not as good as archers as the Rangers. Quite significantly outclass them. But they are more all-rounders. They have 24 missiles, 170 meter range and an average accuracy. And they only come from a Cardalan region. Which should be Argont, Tharbad, Metraid. I would guess between Ostsul, Vale of Dorwinion, most likely around that region. Again, I could miss one or two regions, or might be wrong with Ostsul. I have not on top of my head which regions are Cardalan region and which regions are Arthedain regions. So they are restricted. But a pretty good unit. And this used to be the bodyguard of Airfarm, but as I said, it's not anymore. On the other side, we have 3 cavalry options, and we start with the one you will always get. The Dunedain cavalry and the bodyguard of Gandalf the Grey. With a 10 attack, an 8 attack, a 10 charge, a 20 defense. These are pretty devastating charge cavalry. They have very good morale, a patches morale response, a secondary attack, which indicates that they are seen as a shock cavalry. Powerful charge, of course. 10 charge is really good. And again, they require a Dunedain region. Basically, you can say you have the Arthedain region, the Rhuidar regions, and the Cardalan regions. The Dunedain regions are, I think, all 3 of them. Maybe not Rhuidar, but I think they are all 3 of them. And the others are split in the different regions they belong to. So the Dunedain cavalry, pretty good unit, and you will definitely get one of them with Gandalf. Then moving to one you will most likely get as well, because I think they are in both Arnor and the Reunited Kingdom, Sworn Horsemen. This is actually just a cavalry variant of the Sworn Infantry with a 5 attack, an 8 charge, a 60 defense. They are pretty good shock cavalry. They have a secondary attack, which indicates they are a shock cavalry. They have good morale response, no movement bonus, and they are not restricted, so you can train them everywhere. I think that's also for the infantry variant. Yes, these guys can be trained everywhere, so pretty unit you can always rely on. And most of the time, especially infantry, perform pretty well in my campaigns. Right, then we go to the higher tier units, and well, most of them are restricted. And let's start with the one you will definitely get, and that are the Sons of Numenor, which is not a pike unit, but it's a halberdier unit with an 11 attack, a 5 charge, 28 defense. A really solid unit, and the 11 attack is armor piercing. That's one of the traits of most halberd units. They are armor piercing. They don't they have not the same animation as the pike unit. It's not as strong as them, but the armor piercing trait and the animation they use make them a really good unit actually. I really like to use halberdiers. I prefer pikes, but halberdiers are a really good alternative. They inspire nearby troops, skilled against mounts, effective against armor, excellent morale, and locked. These guys will not run away, so they will fight to the death. I think... No. I was thinking, if I remember well, you get a unit for free once you have rebuilt the House of Kings, but that's not true. And they only come from Annuminas, of course. Then they are joined by the Ar-Adunaim Knights. With a 12 attack, 6 charge, 30 defense, these are really tanks on the field. They inspire nearby troops, frighten nearby enemies, excellent morale, and again it's locked, so these guys will not run away. They have good morale response, and they only come from an Ar-Adunaim region. Right, then we have on our left, we have one unit of archers in this special case, the Dunedain Steel Bowmen. This is a unit that can use your sharpened stakes, but let's get over the stat first. A melee attack of 14, which is really decent. It's on par with the Dunedain Blade Masters, which is really good actually. 7 missile attack, 7 charge, 20 defense. They are a better variant of the Dunedain Rangers, I would say. They have, as I said, they can use sharpened stakes, adept in hiding in the woods, effective against armor, frighten nearby enemies. They have steel arrows, which means they are armor piercing. They have excellent morale, but these guys are not locked, so I think that's an advantage. They have good morale response, 24 missiles, 180 meter range, high accuracy, and requires a major Numenorian town. Well, that means cities like Annuminas, Deadman's Dyke, Tharbad, Minas Tirith, Dol Amrod, those kind of cities you can find steel bowmen, and of course Mangalan once you restore the crypts. These are a really powerful unit, and you start with one of them, because Halbarad has it as his bodyguard. So a really powerful unit. Then we come to the tanks on horses, the Ar-Adunaim Royal Guard. With a 10 attack, 12 charge, 30 defense. As I said, tanks on horses. They inspire nearby troops, they frighten nearby enemies. They have excellent morale and locked. Good morale response. They are slightly slower because they are armored tanks. Do I need to say more? They have a secondary attack, which means they are also considered shock cavalry. And if Gandalf the Grey dies in he revive in like 10 or 15 turns, he will revive with this unit as his bodyguard. Arguably a better bodyguard. So you are most likely to fight with these guys as well. Right. Then we go to the absolute best unit of the game. The Oath Keepers. And these are, well, this is just not funny how good they are. A 15 attack, a 10 charge, 175 defense and 10 hit points. They are relentless, they cannot be staggered, they have unwavering morale, but it's locked. Well, in case of these guys it's not that interesting. Good morale response, effective against armor, frighten nearby enemies, and they can only be unlocked through Aragorn's quest, where you get one unit of this. Yeah, then we have three more units to go with a trebuchet, which is just a range attack. It's not that interesting. They have a pretty terrible accuracy, but they do have quite a range, and they have the carcass ammunition. And I think the carcass ammunition reduces enemy morale, so not that game-changing, but nice, I would say. And I just put them in there just to show them that you can use them. Then we have the Grey Company, the bodyguard of Aragorn. They have 16 attack, 6 charge, and 34 defense. Really good. They inspire nearby troops, adept in hiding in the woods, but your general can never hide in the woods, and since Aragorn is probably your best general, he will never be able to hide in the woods. They frighten nearby enemy. They cannot be staggered, which is a good trait. They have unwavering morale, and it's locked, so Aragorn cannot run away. If you have to fight, you fight to the death. They have good morale response. They have bonus on all terrain and none malice, which is very surprising. I've never seen this combination. They have 15% movement bonus, and they have a bonus against wargs. Then we have one more to go, and therefore we have to move to here. Find, I think this unit, yes. The Dunedain bodyguard, which is your regular bodyguard, with a 7 melee attack, a 8 missile attack, an 8 charge, and a 19 defense. Really good, actually. They can hide everywhere. They have effective against armor because they also have the steel arrows. They have very good morale, and again, it's locked. None of your generals will be able to run away, except for Halbarad, who has the steel bowman. They have good morale response. They're slightly faster than other units, and a bonus against wargs. 34 missiles, 230 meter range, and a very high accuracy. But do note there are only 43 of them, so don't expect them to have thousands of kills. And I have like 4 armies to just represent that the different amount of units you can have. We have some gatekeepers here. This is the Bree army you get. There are some other units involved, the Greenwood Foresters. There are also a Manjar blade masters, sword masters. That's because as Bree you are able to train a few elven units from Undertowers, and I think this has something to do with that. Greenway units, the Watchmen, Merchants, Infantry. So we have some Dull Emerald units, to see what Lancers, which is actually also a really good unit. And here we have the combination of Dunland and Annetwide, so we have Warbird Sentries, some Ruda Bikes in it as well, the Orthanc Guard, Mukaini Tautha, Dunhead Warriors, that's a great company, Wolfguard X-Guard, really good unit. There's some Annetwide Guardsmen. So also in Annetwide you have plenty of options. Frickelinge Hill Riders, which is just a light cavalry, not that interesting. Then we continue to the combination of Rohan and I think there are more of them. So we have Riders of the Fold, Ealdor Lancers. There's just a lot of variety. Oh yes, the Ruidar units also here. The Huskarls, Lensmen, Eorling archers, but also some Riddermark X-Men, Metal Warlords, savages of course, skirmishers as I told you, but also Royal Guard, so there is really plenty enough option through the Beacon of Hope system and the auxiliary barracks, because here we have an Eastern variant with, for example, Trollman Hunters, which is a really strong unit. Some Muha Tribesmen, we have Southern Pikemen. I also saw some, I don't know if they are in here, the Low Gamprim of course, but also some Udesh Marines. I don't think they are in here, because those Dunhair Berserkers also, Muha Beastmasters, so there are just plenty enough options for you to fight. The Arulad Dragon Guard. I had 5 armies with my own army as base, but it's also almost filled out, and still there were more units than I could field in these 5 armies. So there's so much option through the Beacon of Hope system. You will have such variety in the armies. It's just not even funny. Alright, I'm gonna unpause the game, and since we have only 1 faction left, it's not that hard. We are next time we are dealing with Isengard. The poor beggars, yeah, don't know what will come over them when all these armies will swarm over them. It's just not funny. I'm just gonna use my oath keepers, because why wouldn't I? They're not even focused, they are not even coming for us. I'm just so scared. The game is so laggy because there are, I think, 15,000 units on the field. The more that die, the less it will be, but I don't think it will matter that much. I'm just gonna keep the majority of my army in the back, and it will probably be over before. Oh, that's the general down. Very nice. Yeah, that's the Balicite gone. And that's the battle gone. And don't think there will ever be a faster battle. Alright, that's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If so, please leave a like. If you want to see more, subscribe to the channel, and I hope to see you soon in another video of Divide and Conquer. But until then, goodbye!